manages to hit you, so now you have to make maximum prayers to break him. You're going to pray by night, pray Allah Ta'ala to destroy him, pray until something happens to him. And I'm going to give you a prayer that we have developed in Ruqyah to curse them. What is it? So if you are Raqi and someone made sihr, managed to make sihr to you, you do that. And if you are just a patient and some people are making sihr to you again and again and again, and you're treating yourself and the thing's not coming to an end, so you do also this prayer, and anyone can do it anyway. So what is it? You are going to make 11 rak'at after Isha. Well, maybe you have different madhabs, but I'll just say simply that anyone that will do it like his madhab will tell him. Just two rak'at and then one as witr to finish. Every rak'ah after Fatiha you read رَبَّنَا آتِهِمْ ضَعْفَيْنِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ وَالْعَنْهُمْ لَعْنًا كَبِيرًا. That is the verse 68 of Surah Ahzab. رَبَّنَا آتِهِمْ ضَعْفَيْنِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ وَالْعَنْهُمْ لَعْنًا كَبِيرًا. 68 of Surah Ahzab, Surah 33, verse 68. And that means رَبَّنَا آتِهِمْ ضَعْفَيْنِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ. Oh Lord, give them a double punishment, and curse them a great curse. You repeat that 100 times in each rak'ah. So through 11 rak'at, that makes 1,100 times. So that will take you about 2.5 hours to do, making 11 rak'at with that. And you think of these people and curse them. So what is the idea of this? I'm going to, inshallah, try to explain to you the idea of this, is that at one time in Ruqyah, we realized that the dua of jinns are immediately accepted. That is fantastic. For example, I was making da'wah to a Christian jinn, and I told him that Allah, what do you think of Jesus, Isa alayhi salam? He said, Isa is God. I said, no, Isa is not God. Allah is God. He said, no, Isa is God. I said, okay. Just say, oh my God, show me who you are, Allah or Isa. So he said it. Oh my God, show me who you are, Allah or Isa. It's Allah. All this time, I was astray, all my family are going to hell, and this and that. So when he said it, immediately he had the answer. He had immediately the answer, you see? So this makes da'wah to jinn much easier, rather than trying to convince them. But so we realized this many times, that the dua of jinns works immediately. So that got us some kind of jealous, because why wouldn't it be that way for us? You see? And actually Allah Ta'ala says, "Ud'uni astajib lakum," call me, ask me, I'll give you. So they are right, they are making dua and it's working. So we have a problem. Why is it not working for us? As immediate as Allah Ta'ala says, "Ud'uni astajib lakum." So by meditating on the subject, what I understood is that jinns are created by fire, and we are created from earth, from soil. And so soil is matter and mass, and the fire is energy. So the jinns are in, and there is an equivalence. I mean, you can go from mass to energy, and from energy to mass. But a very small amount of mass, of matter, will give an enormous amount of energy. As Einstein has said, E equals m squared c, and c is the velocity of light, I mean the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. So when you do that in square, so that's a very big number. And so that is the comparison between mass and energy, and that is the comparison between man and jinn. That is how the man is much more heavy and than jinn. You see, much more. How do you say? I mean, his energy or his weight is much more. It's incomparable. It's very much different from jinns. And this is why jinns are living in an underworld of men. For example, when jinns speak in your mind, when shaitan makes waswas, in your mind. He is speaking, but for us it is thoughts. So their talk is thoughts for us. And when we speak, we read Quran, that will burn them and kill them. So our speaking is actions for them. And when jinns come in our dreams, so we are dreaming, we see them, but it is a reality for them. So our dream is their reality, you see? This is how they are in underworld compared to us. So how do we get to the dua question? So the question of dua, why the dua of jinns is working, I'll give you an example. If you take a bucket of iron, an iron bucket, and you light a candle, and you turn the bucket over the candle, can that candle heat the air that is inside the bucket? You see? So you hold the candle under the bucket 5-10 minutes, and then you'll find out that the air has gone hotter, of course. But if you fill the bucket with water and you turn it on the candle, can that candle heat the water that is inside the bucket? So now you're going to be waiting for half an hour, and you put your finger, you don't feel any difference, you see? So that is how the dua in jinn words goes very fast. It works immediately, but in our world, because it is much heavier, it will take much more time. Actually, the candle is heating the water, but it will take much more time to heat the water than to heat the air. You see? So if you keep that bucket on the, if you can keep the bucket on the candle all night long, so now if you come in the morning, you'll find that water a bit warm, so to take a shower, to make a ghusl with that, it will be good. You see? Much better than plain cold water. So this is how, if you want your dua to be accepted, you must keep making that dua all night long, or at least half the night. You see? So that is the idea. Because you can say, Ya Allah, give me this, and you don't see anything, and then you stop. It's like if you put your candle under the bucket, 5-10 minutes, nothing. So you take the candle off, and it's finished. Your water is never going to get any hotter. You see? So that's how it works. So this is how I am telling you that if a sorcerer managed to do something to you, you're going to make this dua. You're going to spend 3 hours time, half the night, cursing him. Inshallah, in the morning, you will see something happening. Something is going to change. And this is a general idea I am giving you. So if you have a problem with something, you would spend half the night at least making dua on that thing. Inshallah, by the morning, things will have been changed. Especially if you are, you see, because in Ruqyah, so alhamdulillah, this is a kind of jihad. It is a kind of jihad. So Ruqyah, of course, must be made for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. There's no way someone is going to do that as a living, as a business, as getting money. Well, you could, you could do it as a business, but then you cannot expect the help of Allah Ta'ala in the same way. In our group, because we are a group, as you have heard, we have 60 centers in over 20 countries, so there's hundreds of people I have trained and we are related together. So in our group we have 5 objectives. We have 5 objectives in this Ruqyah work. First objective is to help the people that are suffering and that are stuck in their lives for years and years, to help them out. And the second objective is to protect the iman, the aqidah of Muslims from shirk. And the third objective is a da'wah to non-Muslims, because we can also treat non-Muslims by Ruqyah. And the fourth objective is to fight sihr, sorcerers and shirk until it will disparage. And the fifth objective is to break the business of Ruqyah. That means some people do Ruqyah and ask a lot of money for that, and they keep their knowledge secret. So it is a business, so we break that business by teaching everything to anyone, so that no one can hide it anymore. So in this way, it is a jihad. It is a struggle for the sake of Allah Ta'ala, for Islam. And as being a mujahid, so there's the dua of mujahid, as Rasulullah said, there are 3 people. It is a duty to Allah, for Allah Ta'ala to help them. The first one is mujahid fi sabilillah. The second one is the young man who wants to get married to protect himself from haram. And the third one is the slave who is working to earn some money to buy him his own self, to buy his own freedom. So those three, it is a duty for Allah Ta'ala to help them. So you have the dua of mujahid plus the dua of mazlum, of oppressed, because this sahir has oppressed you unjustly. So you have both this dua, and you spend half the night making dua, so inshallah it's going to work. So I am insisting that you must take this very seriously. I'm going to give you 2 examples of sahirs. I had one patient, and the sahir had spent all the night making knots on him. You see that in knots, as Allah says in Nafathatik al-Uqad, those who blow on the knots. Knots are very much used in sorcery, and as Rasulullah, for example, they made 11 knots on him. But this guy, the sahir, spent all the night making knots and knots and knots and knots, attaching more and more and more all night long. So what is the purpose of doing that? The purpose is that if he goes to someone who will remove 11 knots and 11 knots and 11 knots, so he's getting nowhere, because there are too many of those knots, you see? So what sahirs do, they try to make it more complicated, so the guy will never find any issue. And that's how the sahir will get very famous, that his work is unbeatable and it is going to cost very much more than the other ones. It is, how do you say, improving their business. Wow. So what am I saying? So see how the sahir can spend all night doing that. And can we spend all night praying Allah Ta'ala? So the problem, if the people working with shaitan, they are more ready to make effort and sacrifice for shaitan than we are ready to make effort and sacrifice for Allah Ta'ala, that's where they're going to beat us. We have the truth and we have Quran, but we're not working hard with it. So it's like, the race of the rabbits with the turtle. Yeah, the rabbit is faster, but if the rabbit is sleeping, so the turtle is going to win. So that's what's happening with us and shaitan and sorcerers. And I give you another example. I had a patient, poor guy, he was having 2 girlfriends, and all this is zina and haram, and all this is, Allah Ta'ala protect us. Just to explain to you the situation, he was having 2 girlfriends, and the 2 girlfriends were making sihr to him, and so he was like a tennis ball going from one to another. And one night he spent the night with one of those girls, and before morning he got up very early and he left, and he took his car and he went 200 kilometers, that's 130 miles, and he went to the other girl, and he was not conscious of what he's doing. And when he reached to the other girl and he knocked on the door, so she opened, there was her mother and her sister were there. They said, okay, now we're leaving, and they left, and he didn't understand anything, what's going on here. And so he stayed with his other girlfriend, and when he came back to the first one, she told him, but didn't you see how they were? He said, I didn't see anything. They said they weren't having their clothes, they just put something on them. And she told him, the 3 have been spending all night without clothes on top, dancing for the devil. You see? His girlfriend and her sister and the mother, all 3 have been dancing all night long, yani breasts open, hair open, yani shaking their heads and their breasts for shaitan. See? So, if the shaitan worshippers are ready to do that, are we ready to spend all night praying? It is difficult to make some rak'ah to ask Allah Ta'ala, but those who are working for shaitan, they are ready for it. You see? So when you are going to do that, when you are making ruqyah, protecting yourself, taking your treatment, doing everything, avoiding sins, and despite all what you have done, so some sahir has managed to hit you, now you're going to, because this is an occasion. Before, for example, before I was treating people, and the person who did sihr on them, I have no relation with him, I'm just helping these people. But now he has done sihr on me, and on my wife and children, in order to break me as a raqi. Now it has become a personal matter between me and him. And now I am madloom, and this madloom, it's like a very, very big gun, like a bazooka that Allah has given us. It is the dua of madloom. It is the strongest dua ever. So you must use it fully. because this is an occasion, you have this special weapon, so you must use it fully. So now it has become a personal matter, we're not going to miss him. So you get up at night and pray, 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 inshallah something's going to happen to him. And when you do that, the next one who's going to try to make sihr to you, he's going to feel it's going to come back onto him and he's going to leave you. You see? And that's what we call the best defense is the attack. So that's it. And I'm telling you, this is very important. This is very important, and when you neglect protections, you neglect fighting, so you will be overdrowned, because sorcerers are too many. And if you're making ruqyah every day, you get new people, new sorcerers, and the sorcerers are not, they're not stupid. Imagine if one of us would say, I want to take the drugs out of this country. Do you think that drug dealers, they're going to let you do your business? No, they'll come in your house and kill all your family, isn't it? That's how they do. So that's what they do. They can kill policemen, they can kill whatever. And what about sorcerers? They work with shayateen, they do human sacrifices and all this. And you're coming to stop their business? You see?